We're back with another Fantasy Goodfellas video. We're going to talk about the top 15 tight ends for Week 13. Let's just go over how we did in Week 12.
In Week 12, we have Mark Andrews didn't play. Baltimore and Pittsburgh are scheduled to play tomorrow, but Mark Andrews doesn't appear to even be playing. And Eric Ebron will play tomorrow. So if you take those two out of the equation, we hit on 8 of 13. Boom, boom, boom. We're honed in when it comes to tight ends.
All right, let's hone in on Week 13. So let's get started. Top 15 tight ends for Week 13.
Those Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom.
Rolling on the field. Those Fantasy Goodfellas.
At number 1, we have Travis Kelce, home against Denver. I think this is just going to be for the rest of the season. Only other person I could think of was Taysom Hill. We're going to start putting Taysom Hill as number 1 every week when he was tight end eligible. At number 2, we have Darren Waller at the New York Jets. It's a great matchup. Ryan?
Well, Darren Waller is a dynamic tight end anyways. He can do great against any team. But this week, he's going against the New York Jets, who's ranked 30th against the pass. I think this is a week that Derek Carr is going to look for him.
Derek Carr better turn it around. He had a good matchup last week, and he was terrible. So we'll see. At number 3, we have Dallas Goedert at Green Bay. He's been looking great. Ryan?
In the last 2 weeks, he has 152 receiving yards and 2 TDs on 12 receptions. He's fantasy gold for the tight end position. He's Carson Wentz's favorite target, but how long will Wentz survive?
Yeah, we saw Jalen Hurts take a couple of snaps. I don't know what Peterson is planning to do there. Considering how bad the NFC East is, I think there's still hope for Carson Wentz, but we'll see. But as long as Wentz is the QB, Goddard, like you said, is fantasy gold. So at number 4, we have Mark Andrews home against Dallas. This is Jackson's favorite target when he throws. And the problem is, Lamar Jackson hasn't been throwing much, and his receiving core has been not doing anything, including Mark Andrews. At number 5, we have a guy that's rising, Robert Tonyan, home against Philadelphia. Ryan, what do you have on Robert Tonyan?
He's the number 2 tight end in standard leagues. Yes. Number 2. He currently has 458 receiving yards and is tied for the lead in TD receptions amongst tight ends with 7.
Yeah, I think it's just a weak year for the tight end position. So that's all it takes. Just a couple of good weeks, and you can be Robert Tonyan, and you're number 2. Unbelievable. Number 6, we have Eric Ebron home against Washington. Like we said, Big Ben has been passing a lot. Ryan, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup. I don't know if he's going to be able to get enough touches and enough receptions. We got Washington that's ranked number 1 against the pass, and you also have all the receivers that he has targets that he can throw to. So this is going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, that's a good point. But in a field where basically a touchdown makes all the difference, I think Eric Ebron is more likely to catch a touchdown than a lot of other tight ends. And number 7, we have Mike Gesicki home against Cincinnati. It's a good matchup, and we know Gesicki is a playmaker. It's just, he's been getting limited touches. And number 8, Evan Engram at Seattle. And Evan Engram exploded in Week 12, and we would have had him much higher. But now Daniel Jones' availability is uncertain for Week 13, and more than likely Colt McCoy will be the quarterback in New York, and that is scary for the prospects of Evan Engram. And number 9, TJ Hockenson at Chicago. Hockenson's been, consistent throughout the season, but tough matchup. And number 10, Hunter Henry home against New England. Hunter Henry was probably going to have a bad Week 12, and then during garbage time caught 3 or 4 passes and saved his day. He still has Justin Herbert as his quarterback. At number 11, Jonnu Smith home against Cleveland. Jonnu Smith didn't even get a target, I think, in Week 12. Definitely did not have a reception. That doesn't bode well for you as a tight end. What we do know is, though, he catches a lot of touchdowns. At number 12, Noah Fant at Kansas City, one of Drew Lock's favorite targets. They're going to have to pass a lot to keep up with Mahomes. At 13, Austin Hooper at Tennessee. Mayfield doesn't pass for much, but Austin Hooper caught a touchdown last week. And again, he's the guy that Mayfield does look for in the red zone. Number 14, Trey Burton at Houston. This is a good matchup, and Trey Burton has caught touchdown passes in consecutive games. So we're going to put him into our top 15. And then at 15, we have Jordan Reed, home against Buffalo. For as long as Kittle is out, Jordan Reed is going to be the guy there in San Francisco. And he is a playmaker. Only got a few targets last week, didn't do much, but we think he's going to be a bigger part of that offense in week 13. And he is physically more gifted than 90% of other tight ends. That is our top 15 for week 13.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on here and sharing. Let's hope that we do well this week and keep it rolling.
Yeah, good luck to everybody. And hopefully you're still watching these videos because you're still alive and you're fighting. Keep fighting.
All right. Good luck.